Hello everybody, welcome back to Diary of an Average Footballer. So the other day our football season ended with the cup final that we played. Before I get into the result of that game, I'm going to go through the two ending league games we had to see if we would win the league. So if I'm honest with you, going into these last two games, the chances of us winning the league were pretty slim. There's three teams at the top of the table, all on the same amount of points, including us. Us and another team had just 2 games left, but one of them had a game in hand. They had 3 games left, and they were 3 relatively easy games. Either way, we still need to do our job, and our second to last game of the season was against that other team that was on the same amount of points of us, but still only had 2 games left. So it was a big game. Right, so today marks the return to the season. Obviously, we've got this one this afternoon, and anything but 3 points today is going to see us out of the title race. It's as simple as that. So a win is needed, and hopefully a good performance. We smashed them, 5-1. I came on at right wing in that game. I had a decent little run. By the way, I should say now, a couple of you have asked about highlights and stuff from the games. Now, I don't have highlights for these ending league games, but stick around because I do have highlights from the cup final, so you'll be able to see what the football is being played. That didn't make sense. What the football is being played didn't make any sense. Anyway, big 5-1 win, and we really needed that. Good for the confidence. I remember we didn't have the best first half, but second half we just ran off with the game. And yeah, really good. I personally didn't get any goal contributions, but I had a decent game at right wing. This was on the Wednesday, with the end of the game Saturday, and then the cup final was on the Wednesday. So 3 games in the space of a week. The Saturday game was important. We knew our chances were slim because the other team had won their game in hand and won their game since. So as much as this game was also, we have a chance of winning the league, it's very, very unlikely. It was also a game to show performance, get into that cup final starting team, or see if we can come off the bench, because only 5 out of the 7 subs were getting on in the cup final. And the game on Saturday was a bit closer than we thought. We'd actually played this team in the cup and beat them 4-1. But when it came to this game, it was a bit tighter. It was 2-1, and maybe that's because we were a bit more relaxed. I'm not sure, but it was we weren't quite playing our best football, to be honest. Maybe it's because people were more focused on performance than the result. I personally started at left wing. I can't say I had my best game. I did a little bit of taking on players and stuff. My shooting wasn't quite up to the level I'd like it to be. I had 2 or 3 chances. Not clear-cut chances, but I would have expected to put away at least one of them. It was good enough. It was good enough. It wasn't a woeful performance from myself, and it wasn't a woeful performance from the lads. We still got the win. We won 2-1. Sadly, it ended up not being enough to win the league, but we deserve something from the season. We know we're the best team in the league, and I'm not just saying that, we genuinely are. And so the cup final was a big day. It was a big day to get some well-deserved silverware. Now, first of all, what an experience. What an experience. You know, walking through and walking onto the pitch with our suits, and the pitch was just, you know, it's a grass pitch, and it's an amazing pitch, and you know, we had the sprinklers going off and everything like that. It was a pretty cool experience, to be honest. Spectators got programs. We got one of these things, a lanyard, I guess, and we were really up for it. Really, really up for it. Our warm up was strong. We were feeling good. Like, we were pinging the ball about, and to be honest, I was very, very confident. And we beat this team in the league 1-0 earlier in the season when we played them. I didn't play that game because of the injury. Basically, we knew we had full confidence that we could win this game. I personally wasn't starting. I knew that from the start, and that's fair enough. You know, it's the best 11 we could have on that day, and I'm simply not good enough to make that 11, so that's fair enough. And second of all, the injury is, you know, I've been out for half the season, basically, and as much as it was not that long of an injury, though, that month and a half I must have missed about 6-7 games, which is ridiculous. But as I said in the last episode, to be in the squad was great alone. I was just really, really hoping to get on that pitch, and obviously I was really, really hoping that we win. And we wanted and needed in a cup final. We've got to get off to a good start. Sadly, that wasn't the case. We went 1-0 down in the first half to a bit of an unlucky goal, to be honest. And not too long after, I think it must have been about 10-15 minutes after, 2-0 down. And that meant going into half-time, 2-0 down in the cup final. You know, you could feel it drop. At the end of the first half, you could see the momentum drop. You know, up to the first half, I wouldn't necessarily say they outplayed us. I'd say the game wasn't lively in any sense from either team, but I wouldn't say they deserved to be 2-0 up. But yeah, that's the way it was, and we needed to turn it around. Anyway, half-time, obviously the bench players go out on the pitch and do passing around, and I can remember someone passing the ball to me for the first time. It just zipped along into my foot, and I thought, what? It's my first ever time playing on that sort of like wet, super short grass, no bubble surface, and it's amazing. We obviously did our passing around and little rondos, having a bit of fun, speaking to mates and whatever. Still at this point, I didn't know if I was coming on. I just took that experience at half time of just kicking the ball about on that pitch, because not many players from Loughborough Uni get to play there. Second half, we started much better. Soon we made it 2-1 with a goal from our Spanish midfielder Miggy. Shout out to Miggy. But it stayed 2-1. It just stayed 2-1, and we couldn't really develop much more momentum after that goal. You obviously did feel a bit of increased confidence. Okay, momentum is with us now, because it was, but it didn't really lead into a load of attack. We got some subs on. I remember we hit the bar from a free kick from Jamie. We probably had a few more chances, and so did they. And by this point, we made 3 changes, and it was about the 75th minute now. And a formation change meant that I was coming on at right wing back. I played right wing back before, about 2 seasons ago at Bindon. As I said, that was my first club. And yeah, so I had experience there, as much as my first time playing right wing back for Royce. Anyway, run up and down, trying to create chances, trying to make runs, make some defensive contributions as well. And we kept fighting, and the momentum increased in those last 5 minutes. We had a chance really near at the end from a corner, kind of got flicked up. I tried to flick it back, it got defended back. Miggy did a really good turn, pulled it into Maka, who put it wide. No fault of him, to be honest. That's a really tough one. A lot tougher than it looks on camera, trust me. When you're falling back and you're trying to place it there when you've got bodies in front of you, that's not easy. And the footballers of you will know that. Sadly, that was our last big chance, as in the 90th minute they did good game management. One of their players went down for a bit, and then they held it in the corner and this and that, and it ended up being a 2-1 loss for us, and nothing to show for what has been a very, very strong season. A disappointing end to the season for us. Runners up in the league and cup, both great achievements technically, but we knew that we were good enough to win both. And to have at least one would have made sense. It's the way it is. We move on to next season. That's the end of this season now. Amazing experience to play on that pitch, and who knows, I might never play on that pitch again. We had a good social after still, and it kind of reinforced how good of a team we are. The coaches have been really good all season. I'm sorry if this video's a bit down, but obviously you can see it's a disappointing result. A lot of the players in this team are freshers. This was the B Cup, by the way, so we might be going into the A's next year. Some of us might go in the A's, players like me might stay in the B's, I don't know. But whatever way it is, we're always going to be a strong team here at Royce. We're always going to have a chance to get to that final again. And that brings me into the season review. For myself, how do I think this season has gone? Well, it's been up and down. My stats for the season, I've played 10 games, 3 starts, 2 goals and 1 assist. Seeing as I mainly played as a winger, obviously I had 1 game as a right wing back and then maybe 1 or 2 where I played up front. They're not super bad stats. Looking back on the games, especially in the first half of the season, I definitely should have had more goals. I can especially remember a game against Towers, which is where I got my assist. I should have probably got a hat-trick in the first half with the chances I was missing, which is unlike me. I've always feel like I've been a good finisher, but that's just the way it is. The highlight of the season for me was got to be the Cady game, and then also coming on in the final. Obviously, that's going to be a great experience always, but the Cady game is probably my game of the season for me. Getting the 2 goals after coming on in the last 20 minutes, especially being the first game back from injury, that was always nice. The injury's a massive part of this season. It made me miss probably about 40% of the games this season. It was just so badly timed. It was a good experience this season. Certainly learnt a lot. A step up where I've been from where I've been before, and there's some in this Royce team, especially that midfield of Atsuya, Miggy and Jamie. Them 3 are just absolutely class players, and even when we play together outside of training and whatnot, and we're doing rondos, or we're doing keeping it up in a circle, they're worlds above of me, and it's quite fun to play with them and kind of learn off them and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, some of the ball control on them guys is just ridiculous. It made me work hard on my first touch, especially when I got injured. My focus was on first touch and ball control, which has just improved leaps and bounds this year. Obviously, it's still not perfect. It still needs a lot of work, which will be in the off season. I'm going to make a lot of training videos and stuff like that in the off season, so that will probably be the next episode of this. I guess this brings me on to plans for next season. I want to train with a team in pre-season. I don't know if it's going to be in the actual non-league Saturday league. I don't know if it's going to be one of those teams, and if I can just spend a bit of pre-season with them. Obviously, I'm not going to be up to their level, but that's the point. You want to keep pushing yourself. And also, my plan for next season is to play Sunday league football as well as IMS football. Well, obviously I'm going to trial for Loughborough. Just like last season, 25 out of 750. I'm not going to expect anything So obviously, if I get in, fantastic. To be honest, I think it's unlikely, but it's still worth a try. Good experience. Obviously, come to the IMS, try and get in the A's. If not, play in the B's. Where I'm getting minutes is where I'll be happy. And then play for a Sunday League team as well. So there's more games, hopefully, for me next season. More things to talk about with you guys in this series, because I know how much you guys enjoy these videos. So yeah, that's my plans for next season. Hopefully next season we get some well-deserved silverware for Royce. My plan will be to stay at Royce. You can change between halls, change teams, but I'm pretty happy at Royce, and hopefully I can become more of a starter next year as well. As I said, I'll keep you updated in the off-season and pre-season with my training and everything, fitness and all these drills that I'll be doing by myself. If you enjoyed this series, I'd recommend you watch the other 2 videos as well. They're probably a bit more upbeat than this one. And if you enjoy this style of content, then please share and subscribe and all of that with your friends and family. That would be great and well appreciated. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for supporting the channel, and I'll see you next week. Goodbye.